What is up, guys? Today is episode 3 of Korea's top solo queue picks for the past week. We've actually got 10 new picks this time, plus a lot has moved around. Now remember, the point of this isn't to fanboy over Korea, and it's not because I love stalking Koreans, even though I kinda do. It's here so we can get an idea of things that are good, but just might not be that common in your games. But anyway, like this if you did, dislike it if you didn't, and let's jump straight in. Now these ones aren't actually top 10, but here are some picks that are top 20 and a bit different. In gold, Zillion, Wukong and Hecarim are doing really well. In diamond, Olaf, Hecarim again and Darius are all seeing a big rise in play and win rate. We're going to kick this off in gold at number 10, down 5 spots from last time with Quinn. This pick is really all about just abusing season 6, this heavy snowball, roam, take towers kind of style. She has her ultimate which lets her roam around the map so fast, she's building full AD so takes towers quickly, and obviously the main benefit of building full AD is you kill things quite fast, right? This is one pick where you can't really just sit back. Like, her win rate is highest when it's before 25-minute wins and slowly goes down the longer the game gets. Moving on to diamond, we have Ari, who's actually new to the top 10. Honestly, it's most likely because assassins have kind of buggered off more now. Like, we're not seeing as much Talon or Zed because he's banned so much, and Ari is really good against other mages. She is a forgiving pick, she is high impact, good at roaming, and has her kind of lane bully status back now more assassins have left. Next is our number 9 spot. In gold, there's going to be a new entry with the one and only Blitzcrank. Especially with the Janna nerf coming on the PBE and the fact that AD carry lane bullies are falling out of favor, Blitz is making a really strong return. It sounds strange, but against a lane bully, Blitz isn't that amazing. Like, against a weak laner though, he punishes them so hard and is great at shutting them down and forcing fights when they want to farm. For diamond, another new one with Zed. Kind of surprising he wasn't on these before actually, but then again, you look at his play rate and ban rate and it's not really surprising. Zed has an 87% ban rate in Korea this past week. If that wasn't enough, he has an 8% pick rate, so in 95% of Korean games, he is either picked or banned. There is no real surprise, honestly. Korea loves assassins and Zed is the best right now. He does so much damage, and ever since this bruiser like Titanic Hydra Sterix build came out where he's tanky and still kills you, he's been insane. Speeding onto a number 8 spot, Sivir after a change has been super strong. The fact that all of her bounces can now crit is an insane boost in damage for her and her wave clear as well. It sounds odd, okay, but Sivir is kind of an oppressive pick. Like, you win lane almost just by your W poke and pushing them into tower, forcing them to miss CS and poke them down. Her late game damage is really underestimated too. That is actually why she's so strong. She's better late game than she is early. Her win rate is pretty bad before 20 minutes, but afterwards it goes up and up, and a lot of that is due to her crazy area crit damage. Diamond wise, we have Rise here. He's actually up 1 spot from last time. He got that huge change a few patches ago, and since then everyone has kind of just considered him bad, so they don't really play him. I think really he's just different now. That's how you have to look at it. You have to combo differently, but you can still do decent damage. The meta is shifting more towards tanks and mages, both of which don't punish his early game as hard and honestly will let you stack up your tier and Rod of Ages to the point where you'll do some serious damage. So number 7, Zed is slightly higher than in Diamond top 10 wise, and he's actually moved up a spot from last time we did this. Again, he's really strong at the moment, has a reasonably high ban rate, but also one of the highest games played in this top 10 for gold. In gold specifically, I think you get an easier lane phase, which will mean that you can transition into items and roaming better and stand a better chance at snowballing the game. Like, the problem is you kind of have to punish Zed early to shut him down. It's not easy to do, but that's what you have to do if you want to win against him, and a lot of people are just like, okay, let's just not die to him and feed him, which is the wrong attitude. Moving on to Diamond, Quinn is actually making an appearance here before she's only been in the top 10 for gold. In theory, Quinn should actually be better and worse in different ways the higher you get. So like in Diamond, people should really be better at stopping her snowball, but at the same time, the Quinn players should be better at seeing and creating opportunities, being more proactive and using that early power of hers. I think the reason she's higher up and so good right now is just because of how hard she can pressure early, how quickly she can take towers, and how effective her roaming is. Moving on to number 6 in gold, we have Kog'Maw, who's actually new this time around. He has been toned down a bit, okay, his win rate is not as high as it was before, but he's still really strong. The nerfs were aimed at hurting his early game, but he is still one of the highest win rates before 25 minutes as well as the rest of the game, so I don't know, I guess it didn't really work very well. In theory, he should get punished in lane more now, like that is where he's weak and you're able to go aggressive. I'd also say that's kind of why he's better the higher you get up, like your support will be more competent and help you survive more, whereas it's hard to do do that if your support is playing with himself on a tower or just running around. In Diamond, we're sticking with another AD carry, and we have Kalista, but remember, she is likely getting a nerf next patch, so this one might actually change next time around. You can win almost any lane depending on how good you are, except like Draven. Don't ever play Kalista into Draven, it is not a fun experience. Plus, we're seeing more tanks now, and Kalista's Rend is a great answer to that. You have the engage from your ultimate, you can be proactive, you can get kills in lane, you can get kills mid-game, the safety from Moore and Sterix, plus your kiting. I don't think you can go too wrong with Kalista right now. So now we're moving on to our top 5. Some of these I definitely think you will be surprised about. So Ahri is here for gold, and I think that everything I said about her in Diamond applies here even more. Assassins are not easy to play against. One little mistake early and Ahri will just get farmed over and over. So the less we see of them, the better she's going to be. In gold specifically, she is very forgiving. You can screw up and just ult to safety. You can roam and gank easily. You can win your lane and still be effective no matter what stage in the game you are. This one actually surprised me, but Twitch is here at number 5 in Diamond. In theory, it actually makes a lot of sense. We're moving away from lane bullies, which would beat up on Twitch, and into more passive farming lanes. The best thing about this is you keep ramping up through the game. Like, you do kind of okay early, you're actually pretty bad early, then great mid game when you find people alone and kill them quickly, and an even better late game in team fights with your AoE crits. This is another thing. Runes plus Infinity Edge is insane with your ultimate, and I think he'll be top tier everywhere soon. So number 4 in gold is Poppy. She has the highest games played here apart from Blitz, and I don't think anyone's surprised to see her really. Even though she's new in this top 10 this time around, Poppy has been great for like the past 4 patches really, and everyone around her is getting nerfed like Nautilus and Fiora. She just becomes even better. She's very simple to play, which helps. She's great with a lead. Like, she builds tanky but does damage anyway, so she can trade well and she can dive when she's ahead. And number 4 and 3 spot actually just swapped around from last time, so Kindred is here down 1 spot from last time. Kindred is a typical Korean pick really. High damage, high skill cap, and a hard carry champ, which is basically what everyone loves. She does take some getting used to, like she's basically an AD carry in the jungle, and while she does a huge ton of damage, she takes a lot too. I kind of want to say that she's a lot like Nidalee. There's no middle ground. You either hard carry a game or do absolutely nothing at all. The idea with this pick is you really just go aggressive early. Camp the crap out of everyone and gank so much to snowball the game. Top 3 time now in gold is going to be the same as last time with Kayle. I think Kayle is overpowered right now. Just going to throw that out there. If you want a champion to learn that is really good for climbing right now, it would be Kayle. She takes a little bit of getting used to, but she has so much damage. Great itemization, utility with her heal and ultimate, and she can get to the point where she just 1v5s. Honestly, you can carry bad teammates so easily. All you have to do is focus on doing well in lane. If you can farm and get your Nash's Ginzu's combo, then you will crap on people so hard, and you will do really well. In Diamond, as I said, we swapped around Kindred for Kog'Maw this patch. I did say I thought he would be better higher up. It's not so much to do with the Kog player, like sure you can output a bit more damage, position a bit better mainly, but it's mainly down to the support you're playing with to help you. Kog is so good with the Cole item. I'm going to do a video on that by the way, but yeah, he abuses that. He abuses other really strong items right now, abuses defensive items like Moore and Sterix, and I mean, if you're just going to sit in fights and right click, I don't think you should be as good as Kog is. Number 2 for gold is actually again the same. Malzahar refuses to budge from his spot here. Your lane phase is great. You push with Space Age, you have a good all-in with that damage over time plus your silence. I actually think that is so underrated, you know. An AoE silence in team fights that does that much damage, like if Malz was more popular, that would get nerfed. That is so overpowered. But yeah, so he's simple to play, he's very effective, tanky with Rod of Ages, does crazy damage. What more could you honestly want from a mid laner? Well, there is more that you could want from a mid laner, I guess, in different ways. I bet you didn't see this one coming because Karthus, of all people, is actually the 2nd highest win rate in Diamond solo queue. Karthus has a great team fight, and his lane phase is not as bad as people think it is. He still has loads of AoE damage. He can still ultimate to help gank other lanes. Mid-game, it's hard to deal with a farmed Karthus, especially with the popular build right now, Rod of Ages into Zhonya's, like you're tanky, plus invulnerable for a bit, and then when you die, you still do damage. How do you deal with that? This is definitely a different playstyle pick. It's not about heavy roaming and early fighting and pushing and stuff. It's about using that ultimate to help gank and then team fight. Number 1 time, up 8 whole places from last patch, Scion is taking his crown back as the best in gold. This is actually most likely due to the Nautilus nerf. That is what I think anyway. Before there wasn't really a reason to pick Scion over Naut, but now that he's not as strong, Scion is coming back. You do a decent amount of damage, you have a good lane phase, you shut down carry lanes with how tanky you get, and your ultimate is amazing at roaming or even just killing people in lane. I actually think that's one of the good things as well. It's more obvious how you have an impact with Scion. Like whenever your ult is off cooldown, you think, okay, what can I do? And it forces you to have more of an impact than most other tanks. In Diamond, we still have the same good old Nidalee. She is getting a pretty hefty nerf next patch, plus Runic Echoes is also getting hit, so I don't think she'll still be sitting here, but I guess we'll have to see. Right now, she is just amazing. Such high damage, like crazy damage, even early into the game. You have poke, you have all-in, a heal, can kite for days, and right now there's nobody better at ganking, clearing, and having early pressure. So one of the things you guys asked for was a little recap while we wrap up this video. I'm going to put that on the screen, so it kind of summarizes everything that we've just gone through. So anyway, did anything surprise you guys? What do you think is strong? And as always, I actually do read a lot of comments, even if it doesn't look like, even if I don't reply to a ton of them, I do actually read a lot, and I love seeing what you guys think. Anyway, remember to like this if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll leave you with the robots.